What is going on everyone, Parsnip here, and today we are going to continue with part 2 of our pros and cons list. Today I will be covering the positive aspects of the game, and for those of you that never played Archeage, or maybe you're using this as a reference to find out if the game is worth playing or not. Well, I myself consider Archeage Unchained to be a very fun MMO, a game that I still plan to play for a long while. However, do take note that I am more of a casual player. Sadly, I do lack the time to be on more than 3 or 4 hours a day, which in turn allows me to avoid the main issue that most players have, and that is being in the top 5%. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the pros. Archeage provides a lot of things for you, the player, to do, and I truly believe that in order to enjoy this game to the fullest, you cannot have the mentality of competing with the top players. Just ignoring this one thing will allow you to not waste 4 or 5 hours a day doing the same tedious dailies over and over again. With that out of the way, let's start off with one of the things I do love doing every morning right after I wake up, and that is farming. Now, feel free to call it gathering, harvesting, husbandry, or even logging, pretty much anything that's related to those. Believe it or not, owning your own farm and planning on them is super relaxing. It takes your mind off of things. You know, you can wake up, enjoy a cup of coffee, and pick grapes from the game. It's just a great start for me, not to mention everything else you can do in said farm. Now, things in the farm can make you money and open doors to other proficiencies like commerce, gathering bundles. You can try to get royal seeds. You can even try your own luck with thunderstruck trees. Maybe even waste some time decorating it. Which brings us to the next topic, and that is housing. Nowadays in Archeage, having land is easier than ever. If you played Legacy, it used to be much harder. Sure, if you are in a populated server, for example you're in Alexander, the options are few, but try a place like Rahala and you're bound to find a spot or two. Once you have your land, quite a few options open up. I for one ended up choosing a thatched farmhouse that I do plan to later upgrade into a miner's house. Now you can hop into Mirage Isle and look at the housing options and their possible upgrades. The game does provide you with quite a few choices and gives you a goal to work towards. Some options like the tree house or the mansions, if you want to go ahead and show off, you know, maybe you don't care about the size and want something smaller, maybe a small wooden cottage with the option to upgrade it to 2 stories later. Archeage actually does have a solid amount of housing options to choose from. And then we can go on to decorating it. You know, if you think just the stuff that you see in Mirage Isle is available, you're quite mistaken. Make sure you guys click the O key in game and look at all the available furniture, from decorations that look cool and custom UTC, all the way to workbenches that gives you 10,000 proficiency in a certain profession. Now, though Archeage is a PvP focused game, it does provide you a ton of calmer and more crafted related content. Maybe you are already awake and want to do something more exciting, something thrilling. And this is where we can start to talk about your PvP options. Now you might be thinking that, wait, since I'm not doing dailies, how can I be competitive in PvP? And the short answer is you can't. If you want to want a player and said player has 2 times your gear score, chances are you'll get 2-shotted from 30 meters away. But if you are like me and most players, you won't really be 1v1ing others too often. What actually ends up happening is you either are killed by a huge group of reds, or you're killing reds in a group. But don't let that get you down, there's much more to it than just 1v1s. Starting off with pack stealing. Though trade and cargo packs aren't what they used to be, fishing, however, is more popular than ever, and so is stealing fishes. Be it in guilds or in nation chat, you can always find a group looking for more players to steal fish and packs. You can even find raids going through Aurora, maybe IAG, simply hunting other players to farm honor. And when you find the red group that's doing the exact same thing, you eventually will, and a huge battle happens, and it's a blast, it's dumb fun, and even if you die, you end up enjoying it. So one of my favorite faction-based PvP events is the Abyssal Kraken. Not only do I consider it the best naval PvP event in game, it also gives you the opportunity to make a good amount of gold while participating in said event. Now it includes both PvP and PvE. If you haven't done Abyssal yet, make sure to help your side out by trying at least, even if you don't enjoy it too much. Abyssal is always fun and worth giving it a shot. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about goals. Archeage by far is one of the games that gives you a huge variety of goals to achieve besides your gear, which is usually the main focus on any MMO. However, with a vast variety of mounts, houses, vehicles, and cosmetics, you will always have a goal besides gearing up. And while we are talking about variety, let's go ahead and talk about the class options and freedom you have in game. For most players, the meta is the norm, but that doesn't stop others from going into really weird and fun builds, and by all means you guys should give it a shot. For example, you could be a priest that walks 3 times as fast as anyone, even outrunning mounts, a tank that can outdamage an archer, or even an archer that deals no damage but dodges everything. You know, pretty much Archeage allows you to mess around with your build and gear without punishing you. So feel free to mess around and experiment your own thing. Lastly, let's go ahead and talk about exploration, which just so happens to be a proficiency. Is it the most profitable? No. Is it fun? Very. Exploration does give you a reason to visit the massive sea in Archeage. It allows you to discover ruins and shipwrecks, which you can even bring above water and take the packs from. It makes you want to build a submarine to find more loot and explore things faster, and gives you something fun to do that can even give you a high profit depending on your luck. Now, besides the proficiency, the world of Archeage is massive and it's simply beautiful. Looking at certain areas while the sun is rising makes it feel like this isn't a game from 2014 but a brand new one. Now, Archeage consists of a multitude of areas and styles, from fantasy crystals on a beach, floating islands on a plain, huge mountains covered in snow, and big deserts that cover a vast area. Anything you expect from a fantasy MMO, Archeage has it. Now, there is so much more I could talk about, guys, from fishing to raids to dungeons, mining, and world bosses, all the way to the naval battle royale or instances. You know, even if you are just charging your clippers into tornadoes doing the Abyssal event, for example, just to send it flying and mess around, there are tons of things that are not even game intentional that you can do. Upgrading your harpoon so you can bring your clipper into land, and a bunch of dumb things like this. Now, all you have to do is ignore being competitive and focus on doing your own thing in your own pace. After all, playing with 3 accounts and doing dailies on every single one of them will burn you out. It doesn't mean you don't have to, it doesn't mean you can't. It simply means that you will not enjoy the game like you should. So guys, even with all the problems that Archeage does have, it still has a lot going for it. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and thank you all for watching.